The Yankees in this game played like the better team, which they are.
And
they played like the better team, and they exactly. And this is the lead for this episode, and honestly, probably the lead for every episode for the rest of the regular season.
You are Locked On Yankees, your daily New York Yankees podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On Yankees, which is part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. Thank you for making us your first listen every day. I'm Stacey Gotsoulias. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Football season is around the corner. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your future bets now. With me, as usual, my co-host, Brian McKeon. Brian.
A win.
Better? Yeah.
Just a win. Feels nice.
Yeah, it does feel nice. Feels weird, but feels nice. Before we get started, don't forget, subscribe to Locked On Yankees on whichever podcasting platform you prefer. Subscribe to our channel on YouTube, like our videos, hit the bell so you're notified whenever our videos go live. We have a TikTok page. If you're there, follow us if you can at LockedOn_Yankees. I believe we passed 700 followers?
Yeah, and 9,700 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah.
Big day
amazing.
for us.
Yeah. Really good. Thank you guys for supporting us. On today's show, we preview the second game of the Yankees Twins, even though the Twins pitcher is still TBD, but we'll get into that later. And we take a Tuesday trek through the minors. But first, the Yankees won. It's not that much of a big deal because, I know the Twins finally won a season series against the Yankees for the first time in like 500 years last year, but they have to beat the Twins, right?
It's interesting because after the trade deadline, it was, famously that the Twins basically traded away their whole roster except for Joe Ryan. And everyone was wondering, and Byron Buxton, who was on the injured list, what are they doing here? Why are they giving up on their roster? And they came out of that deadline winning 2 series in a row,
right,
which kind of to me now feels like a bunch of young players who don't care and have nothing to lose and are kind of pissed off that their whole team got traded away. And they're playing with a little bit of a vengeance, and there is nothing scarier in sports than a team that has nothing to play for and nothing to lose.
Right.
So that's what you got. Once the dust kind of settles with teams like that, though, and you get into your third series, and now they realize, oh, wait, we have 2 months to go in the season of this, you start to regress back to the meaning of what you really are. And I think we saw that from the Twins tonight. They did not play well. They did not look like the good team. And listen, the Yankees in this game played like the better team, which they are,
and
they played like the better team, and they exactly. And this is the lead for this episode, and honestly, probably the lead for every episode for the rest of the regular season. These are games they need to win, and that is only the case because of the position they put themselves in. Yep. They have put themselves in this position, but like you got to take 2 out of 3 in this series at a bare minimum, and ideally you want to sweep it.
Yes,
and that's a hard expectation to get yourself to, and it's an annoying one that you have to get to, quite frankly, in August, but that's the position they put themselves in. So these are games you need to win when you clearly have the talent advantage.
Yes. So let's talk about the other big story from the game. A Yankee, yes, I know. My cat's all excited. A Yankee starter got through six innings for the first time in what seems like 15 years. It's been since July 30th, I believe, was the last time that happened, but it feels like 15 years. So kudos to Will Warren for pitching the way you should against a team like this.
His second longest start of his career, 7 strikeouts. This was really a really good performance out of him. One of the best starts he's had all year, to be honest with you. I feel like I'm going to finish the year really liking what we got out of Will Warren this season. He was solid for the most part, right? He's got 2 starts that are absolute clunkers that are really what make his ERA a little more elevated than deserves to be. Overall, he's had a really solid year, Stacey. He's come through when the Yankees have needed him to. He's pitched well over times. I've liked what you've seen out of Will Warren. And you know what? This was a stopper kind of start. This is what Max Fried couldn't do in yesterday's game. It was a stopper kind of start. The Yankees got the victory. It's what they needed out of him.
Yep. It was a pleasure.
Plus the length saved the bullpen.
Oh, yeah.
Who needed a rest in the worst way.
Yeah. Yeah. And you got to see good stuff out of the bullpen. But before we get to that, let's talk about the offense, because at first I was slightly annoyed. I wasn't annoyed that they were up 3-0. I was annoyed that it only came off of solo home runs because I got an interesting reply on Blue Sky about this because I joked about I'd rather see other types of scoring. And someone likened it to the 3-pointer in the NBA because there's so many guys that live and die by the 3. And I feel like the Yankees live and die with the home run. And
it's the analytical approach.
And it doesn't help them in some cases. So I was a little worried about that. And when the Twins got it to 3-2, I was like, this is why you need to score more than 3 runs and make things happen.
It is a great analogy, and it really, the comp does work in both sports. And it is the same thing with the analytics in basketball and the analytics in basketball are a lot more simple and less nerdy than they are in baseball. But in basketball, it literally comes down to 3 points is more than 2.
Right.
So if we shoot a lot of 3-pointers and we can make more 2-pointers than 3-pointers, we're going to win the game if we make more 3-pointers because it counts for more points.
Like how many times did we see in the playoffs in the NBA?
The Boston Celtics.
How many times did we see them miss like 50 3-pointers in a game?
The Celtics lost in the playoffs this year because they couldn't hit their threes in that series. Case in simple, the Knicks beat them because the Celtics stopped hitting their threes. And if the Celtics did hit their threes, they would have won. That is how NBA teams play nowadays. They gather a lot of 3-point shooters and they basically say, we are going to win. If we hit our threes tonight, we're going to win. And if we don't, we're going to lose. And they feel comfortable by how NBA teams figure it is if we shoot 70 3-pointers in a night, we're going to hit 40 of them and that'll result in a victory. It'll be 120 points and we'll win the game more often than not. Is it stupid? Yeah, but that's another argument for a different day. Baseball teams think that if you don't have a 2-strike approach and if you don't choke up on the bat and if you don't where it counts and you go up there like Jazz Chisholm swinging for the fences every single time, if you swing for the fences 70 times in a game and you connect on 4 of them are home runs, and that should be enough to win a baseball game. And that's how they rationalize it in basketball terms. Speaking of the home runs, that'll lead me into the point that I want to make, though. Jazz had a home run. The home run makes it harder for me to make my point, which is kind of aggravating, because if you saw the at-bat earlier in the game, which I believe was in the 3rd inning, the Yankees had runners on 1st and 3rd, and Jazz came up early in the game with a chance to really break the game open with 2 outs. And if you watch that at bat, Stacey, before you blinked an eye, it was 0-2. And on the first 2 pitches, Jazz is swinging through his shoes. And I'm sitting here screaming at my television. You have 2 outs in the inning. There's 2 runners on. You have a chance to break the game open. What are you doing? Yeah, all you need to do is put the ball in play here. Yeah. And he's trying to hit a 900-foot home run. It's not situational baseball. And part of it's on Jazz. It's not all about I know he wants to celebrate around the bases and he wants to hit the home run and be the power hitter, and that's all good and well. You got to be more of a team player in those situations. Right. If he comes up with no one on and there's 2 outs, swing for the fences, buddy. Do your thing. With 2 guys on and the chance to break the game open, Stacey, I don't need a 3-run homer there. I need a single that makes the game 4-0 and makes it feel out of reach.
And advances the runner into scoring position, and then you can keep it going. Yeah.
Thank you. I don't need you to first pitch, swinging through the fences. Second pitch, swinging for the fences. And then he strikes out on 3 pitches because the 3rd one was a changeup that he swung completely over. And before you know it, you're out of the count in 3 pitches. Yeah. That's not the way to handle it. And then he hits a home run later in the game by, again, first pitch, swinging with all of his might, hits the home run, and it kind of gives you a respite for no one thinks about the early situation because he finishes the game with a home run.
That swing was actually, I don't know, that was like the perfect pitch for him because it was a cutter that didn't cut. It was only 89. It was literally right over the plate. So
but
it was
still
like
lots of launch angle on it, though. Like he was trying to hit the ball a million miles.
Yeah. Speaking of hitting the ball a million miles, he didn't hit it a million miles, but Stanton has hit the ball a million miles in his career. His 11th home run. It's his 440th career home run, which has tied him with Jason Giambi for 44th all time, which is kind of cool. 440 and 44th. I like the numbers there.
If you guys want to question Stanton's health, though, out there playing the outfield in this game and then pushing a ball the other way to right center field, he's healthy. Yeah. And he's feeling good. So I'm not really too worried about his play.
He needs to keep playing because if he's going to keep hitting the ball
like that. In the outfield, though. Yeah. I mean, is he a Gold Glover? Is he Aaron Judge? No. But he's not a butcher out there either. Let's be honest. Stacey, though, they treat him like he cannot feel.
They treat him like they would treat me, putting me out in right field.
and he's, I mean, again, he's not Jermaine Dye out there, but he's not an abomination.
He's not
He's a
Kevin
fine
Youkilis
outfielder.
playing the outfield.
No, but he's a fine outfielder.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, it was not a good experiment at all. But I'm thinking of a ton of players that they simply. One that came to mind is David Ortiz with the Red Sox. So they tried playing him at first base for a while, and then he just could not do it, and they just had him DH the rest of his career. Stanton is not that level bad in the outfield.
No,
I don't get it. They treat him like he's just this horrible fielder, and he's not that bad.
Yeah, Ben Rice. My God, he hit the tar out of that ball. It
usually does.
Wow. His 17th, he went back-to-back with Stanton, which was pretty cool. And then after my complaining about them hitting too many home runs or relying on the home run, they have a good inning where there's the Ryan McMahon. Can we talk about him briefly? Because, he's not knocking the cover off the ball, but, every time I'm looking, he's on second base or he has a single or he's doing something, so he's playing up to
and he
the
has
moment.
And the point that we made after the trade deadline, Stacey, of hey, this could rejuvenate him, this could revigor him and everything. It has happened. He's been a different player with the bat than he was in Colorado. It's plain and simple. Putting the ball down the line in this game. Also, the Bellinger home run, too.
Oh, yes.
The complete opposite of Jazz when it comes to approach. 2 strikes, fouls a ball off outside of the plate, and then just gets even the piece of hitting that he had on the home run where inside corner, it was actually a pretty good pitch. And he adjusts his body, opens the hips up a little bit, pulls it down the line. This guy, he's going to get paid this offseason. I think we can all acknowledge that. He is a damn good baseball player. That is the best way to put it, too. Like, he's not what you thought he was going to be after the Rookie of the Year and the MVP, but he is just a fundamental good ball player. He really is. Like, just high on base, works the count, really good hitter, great fielder. He's a guy I want on my team, and I'm going to have no problem if they pay him, honestly.
So Ryan McMahon with the double, then the wild pitch moves him to third. Then there are singles involved, which is great because I love that. Obviously the wild pitch is more of the Twins helping the Yankees, but the fact that McMahon hit the double and was able to get to third on that wild pitch, and then the single, Judge, right? Judge hit the single? Or Grisham hit the single, and then Judge hit a single, right? That was the order because they hit singles back to back. And then Jazz with the home run to make it 6-2, put the game out of reach. Bullpen, Luke Weaver looks like the Luke Weaver of old. I keep saying it. He definitely came back too soon from his injury because now he looks fine. And he didn't just look fine against the Twins. It's not because it's just against the Twins. He looked good against the Astros too. So I feel like he's
healthy now. He's all the way back.
David Bednar comes out to Renegade by Styx. Love him even more now that I know that. And 12 pitches, 9 strikes, 2 Ks in 1 inning of work.
Yeah, no, and he is, again, we say it every episode and we're going to keep saying it. He is who I want on the mound. He just is. He's a bull. He will take the ball at all 43 games left. He will take the ball in every single game if you let him.
Yeah.
He's a bulldog out there.
Devin Williams, I forgot that he appeared in the game when they were down 4-0 on Sunday. And we kind of talked about it like he didn't. So I just would like to acknowledge that when we do these shows, we have so much information that we want to talk about. And like, we have to cram the whole weekend into the Monday show. And I completely forgot about it.
I'll say this though. Us not saying anything speaks volumes, because him coming in and pitching in a nothing situation.
Yeah.
Is that much? It's nothing.
Right.
That's what Devin Williams has done at this point. So it's a non sequitur.
Yeah. All right. Don't forget, subscribe to the channel, hit the like button on our videos, hit the notifications so you know when our videos go up. You can also join the Locked On Yankees Insiders Club. The link is in the description. You get text from us. You can text us questions, comments, reactions to trades and signings. We send out the lineups during the season, roster moves, and any breaking news so you don't have to check social media. There's a 14-day free trial. Coming up, we're taking our Tuesday trek through the minors. We'll be talking about Spencer Jones, as usual. And we'll be talking about Fernando Cruz, too, because he's rehabbing. So we'll talk about it all next.
Hey, guys, if you're running a business, you know that every missed call is money left on the table. Think about the last time that you had a service emergency like a burst pipe. If the first plumber didn't answer, did you just wait? No, you called the next one. And that's why having a reliable business line is so important. And that's why you need OpenPhone. OpenPhone is the #1 business phone system that helps you streamline and scale customer communication, all from an app on your phone or computer. Did you juggle 2 phones just to keep your business and personal calls separate? OpenPhone solved that instantly. And the AI agent helps after-hour calls. It answers common questions, and it captures leads so you never miss a customer ever again. OpenPhone is offering Locked On Yankees listeners 20% off your first 6 months at openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. That's openphone.com/LockedOnMLB. And if you have existing numbers with another service, OpenPhone will port them over at no extra charge. OpenPhone, no missed calls, no missed customers. And today's episode is also sponsored by FanDuel. Guys, August 26th is officially FanDuel Futures Day, a brand new holiday for football fans who live for the bold predictions and preseason hunches. For just 24 hours, FanDuel is giving you deals on NFL season predictions. So whether you're calling your MVP, eyeing a long shot division winner, or ready to crown your Super Bowl champ before week 1 even kicks off, this can be your moment. Guys, there are so many futures that are out there available. Division winners. I'll tell you one that I love right now. San Francisco 49ers to win that Western Division and to potentially win the Super Bowl. You get a last place schedule because of their finish last year. A lot of guys coming back healthy. Could be a potential really big year for the Niners. You can also get on an MVP races. You like Mahomes. Everyone does every year. What about Christian McCaffrey, though, coming off of an injury? Could be a potential good one. What about your champion? I told you, I like the 49ers. Chiefs never a bad bet. You can also parlay division winners. Those are always super fun, too. Visit the FanDuel app today and start planning your futures bets now, because Futures Day is one day and one day only. FanDuel, play your game. So, Stacey, some injury updates for you as news broke earlier today. Gerrit Cole was out on the field, in the outfield in Yankee Stadium, throwing the ball next to Aaron Judge, but throwing it to a different person because they're on different throwing programs. Gerrit Cole threw 20 pitches at a normal velocity for a throw, for a catch. So not pitches at 90 miles an hour, but a normal velocity, played catch, through 20 balls. He is completely on track to appear sometime around early to mid-May of next season. That's pretty good. Glad to hear that. Not major earth-shattering news, but good to hear that he's on a normal track back. That's good to hear. Also, Fernando Cruz, he threw 19 pitches in a bullpen in Somerset earlier on Monday. He'll start his rehab assignment on Tuesday. Bullpen has been a decent spot for them lately, but it's never a problem to get back an arm like that. It'll be really solid to get Fernando Cruz back.
Yeah, he was like a revelation for them before he got hurt. And that was a big blow. I don't think people realized it at the time, but seeing what's happened to the bullpen since he got injured, it's a big blow.
Ryan Yarborough also is starting his rehab assignment too. His return is a little more iffy and back and forth on when he'll return because they don't know what they're building him up to. They don't know if they're going to use him as a long relief guy or a starter. Either way, he's going to have to be built up a lot more. So Cruz will be back way before Yarborough.
Yeah. All right, well, let's go to Scranton first. We'll do this in order. They won a 7-game series against Lehigh Valley because Wednesday was a doubleheader because of a rain out way back on July 1st. They faced old friend David Robertson during the series. He only pitched in a third of an inning from what I saw. He didn't give up a run or anything. They
probably pulled him because they were going to call him up to the Major League club.
Yeah. So Scranton is now tied with the Syracuse Mets atop the International League standings. And remember how I mentioned the fact that both Somerset and Hudson Valley were behind the Mets affiliates in their respective levels last week? Well, guess who they played this past week? Both levels playing against the Mets. So Somerset split their 6-game set with Binghamton. So they're still behind Binghamton by 3 games in the Eastern League Northeast standings. Spencer Jones hit his 30th home run of the season on Sunday. And my God.
Oh, nuke.
Oh my God. And it was opposite field.
Yeah.
He has unbelievable power to hit the ball that far to left center. Like,
I think they're going to call him up in September.
You might see him.
Yeah.
You might.
I think they are.
Because, wow, I was impressed when I saw that video. I watched it like 4 times because I couldn't believe how
you know what he has too, Stacey? He's got that really pretty crack of the bat sound on his contact too. Like he hits the barrel of that bat when he makes contact.
Yeah. He looks kind of goofy when he swings though. Like, do you notice that when he hits the ball opposite way, like, because he's so big, like,
Yeah.
he's a different big than Judge. Like, Judge, I don't know how to describe it. Like, Spencer Jones and Aaron Judge are basically the same size. They bat from opposite sides of the plate.
Judge is more football player build, though. He's much more muscular and big.
Yes,
Yeah,
where
like
Spencer Jones is a little more like lanky. And you know, like his arms almost look long. Like he just looks different. Like he looks like one of those.
That word you used.
What?
That is what they said is the big complaint on his swing and why they don't know if it works in the major league level is how long his swing is.
Yeah,
because he takes a while to get through the zone, and it's when you're seeing 98 and it's located perfectly, that could be a problem. So I just wanted to like catch you with that word because long is the word they use on the complaint about him, literally.
Oh. No, but he looks like one of those sometimes, like, you know, the blow up things outside of like car washes that kind of blow in the wind.
Do they still have those, or is that more of like a nostalgia thing that we all know what we're talking about?
I've seen TikToks.
I haven't seen one in forever of one of those things.
I know
what you're talking about. I think they have
them in the South because I see TikToks with them and they play
like used car lots, right? Like,
yes, they play them along to funny music, so they do still exist. But that's what he reminds me of in a way, not totally. All right, moving down to Hudson Valley, who won their series against the Brooklyn Cyclones 4-2. Yankees third round pick Caden Kent got his first professional hit on Friday in a 2-0 win over the Brooklyn Cyclones. It was an RBI single, so he helped with the win. So they're 3.5 games behind Greensboro, Hudson Valley. So they're in second place in the South Atlantic League North standings, because there are so many. I was looking at all the standings and I'm like, there's North, there's South, there's Northeast, there's East, there's West, like in all the different divisions.
It also shows how talented these kids are early on too, that he's playing above the Tampa level right after getting drafted.
Well, moving on to Tampa, we're going to talk about someone else who got drafted who was playing with Tampa. So the Tarpons also played a Mets affiliate, St. Lucie. They did poorly. They lost their series 5-1 in 6 games. They only won 1 game. Also, their game was rained out on on Thursday, the 7th. It was going to be played as part of a doubleheader on Friday. Then it got banged because they played the first game on Friday and then rain came in. So then they had to put it in as another doubleheader on Saturday. They finally got it done, and then they got swept and lost both games.
Not pretty.
No, they won the first game of the series, lost the rest. So the Yankees' first round pick of 2025, Dax Kilby, made his professional debut also on Friday, like Caden Kent, but he went 0-for-3 in a Tampa loss. It's going to happen. He's so young.
But their first round pick plays in Tampa, and their third round pick plays in Hudson Valley.
Because he's young. He's high school. He's older, yeah. He's high school. He's turning 19 on November 17th, if I'm not mistaken. I think November 17th.
If he has a really good rest of August and September, don't start calling for him to be on the major league roster next year, please.
Yeah. They're in last place in the Florida State League West standings with a 12-27 record in the second half, but overall they're second to last because Fort Myers, the Minnesota single A team, is in last place overall because your first half, second half. So yeah, second half not great for the Tampa Tarpons.
Yankees also, in this note, after the trade deadline and draft are complete, now have the 21st ranked farm system in all of baseball. Not what you'd like to see, to be honest with you.
No. And the Dominican Summer League ends on August 19th. The Dominican Summer League Yankees have no shot at the playoffs, according to Tom Kaczynski. But the Bombers still have a chance to make it into the 16-team.
All right, let's go Bombers.
Yeah, so if the Bombers make it, we will tell you all about it.
Yes, can't wait.
So that was our Tuesday trek through the minors. Coming up, we're previewing Game 2 between the Twins and the Yankees, and we have some news from around the league.
Today's episode is brought to you by Gameday Hue, and so is this hat I'm wearing. For Locked On Yankees fans, you guys need to get this hat because it hits the mark. Gameday Hue makes clean, no-logo gear with team-inspired colorways for every pro and college fan base. It's all about letting your colors speak for you. There's no giant logos, just smart, versatile style that works on game day, on the course, or anywhere in between. Now, I love rocking it when I play golf. It's subtle, stylish, and I can always rep the Yankees whenever I want. The hat also pairs perfectly with my usual gear. It doesn't replace my team's logo stuff. It just kind of adds to my versatile clothing lineup. Plus, I can wear it to tailgates, tee times, running errands. It works for any kind of situation. And also, they make such good subtle gear. They also have these gloves that are included. You can get golf gloves on there. They're split shaded gloves. They're made for the golf course, and they're the perfect gift for the fan who has everything, wants everything, and just wants their gear to be a little more subtle while still taking the team colors. It's the perfect kind of stuff. And right now, you can get 15% off with code MLB15 at GamedayHue.com. That's GamedayHue.com. The code even stacks on bundle deals, so now is the time to load up. Let your colors talk because colors speak louder than words. That's GamedayHue.com, code MLB15. Guys, not only do we cover your team every day, but now we're giving you instant episodes after every single game. Check out the Locked On Yankees postcast. It's hosted by Jay Berman and it appears right here on the Locked On Yankees podcast feed, as well as streaming all over our YouTube channel. Get rapid reaction to all the biggest moments with the Locked On Yankees postcast. Stacey, as you mentioned earlier, that YouTube channel now has 9,700 subscribers as we inch ever so closer to 10,000. We might get to 10,000 before the season ends, which would be stellar because I promised myself that I am going to a very fancy dinner when we hit 10,000. So get me to that dinner, please, guys.
Yes, and I was thinking maybe we should do something special for the people who watch and even listen to the show when we hit 10,000 YouTube subscribers. I have to run it through the company to make sure that, you know, we don't do anything that's not up to snuff, but we'll come up with
Stacey's going to throw a big party at our house. That's what I hear. That's the rumor.
Well, it's August 12th as we do this, and it's 2 weeks from my birthday. If we could get to 10,000 by August 26th. That's a pretty good
birthday present, not going to lie.
That would be a good birthday present for me. So if you guys could do that, that'd be great.
Well, a good birthday present for you a little early would be the Yankees potentially sweeping Minnesota. Getting in the playoffs would still be something you'd like to see.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough, though, because they're facing undecided on Tuesday at 7:05.
I
don't know how.
I just checked it, and it's still
at
10:32 p.m. as we record this. It's still TBD.
How are teams getting away with this still? To not announce it. When I was a kid, they would announce these starters. It felt like millenniums in advance. You would see 2 weeks, but I remember when I would get taken to a game, someone would invite me in 5th grade. I would go online and look, and it would say from 2-3 weeks in advance who's going to be the projected starters for that game. Now you don't know until 20 minutes before first pitch. It's
so in
weird.
2007 when you went to a game.
Yeah, exactly. Thanks for reminding me. Carlos Rodon will start for the Yankees. 11-7 with a 3.35 ERA. His 200 strikeout watch on the year is at 159. So we'll see what he'll be at after the game. And then Wednesday's game is going to be a prime video game. Joe Ryan, which will be a tough matchup for them. 11-5 with a 2.79. He's had a great year. He'll go up against Cam Schlittler, who's 1-2 with a 4.38. Also, Stacey, how do they have Wednesday's guy announced, but not Tuesday? They have no idea who's starting to. I know because you want to keep Joe Ryan on his same path. You don't want to interrupt him for any.
Is it possible they're thinking about doing a bullpen?
Probably, and they just don't know which bullpen guy is going to start the game.
Yeah,
that's probably what's going to happen. Well, it gives the Yankees an advantage, so I'll take that. Yeah. So yeah, again, and a game 2 feels like the game the Yankees kind of got to have just to win this series. You got to stack series here, and honestly, you got to start sweeping some series too. You can't. It's not about stacking series wins at this point. It's not going to get you there. You need to sweep some series. You just do. You can't finish in the 500 range. Some news from around the league just to close out for Tuesday's show today, guys. Jen Powell, she donated her hat that she used in the series to the Hall of Fame. So the first hat used by a female umpire in a game and in a series is going to sit in Cooperstown, where it deservedly should sit. I want to say this. It is interesting because you've been there before, correct? You haven't. Wow, that's so upsetting for you.
Which is weird because my brother is there right now and he goes there every year.
Is he there yet, or is he en route?
He made it. Yes, he texted.
Okay, good. I'm glad to hear that.
Yes.
Cooperstown, what's weird is if you don't go into the hall where they have all the plaques and stuff, the rest of the facility is just a baseball museum. It's really not just hall. People have that weird common misconception. And I always find it funny how Pete Rose is not in the Hall of Fame. Really what people mean when they say that, Stacey, is it's just his little plaque with his face on it that isn't in the Hall of Fame. because the rest of that building is littered with Pete Rose memorabilia, from his socks to his bats to his balls to his hats to his gloves to his jerseys, everything. The same with Barry Bonds, the same with all of these guys. Their stuff is littered across the Hall of Fame. It's just that their plaque isn't in there, which I find interesting. So you will notice it when you...
Maybe?
What?
Hypocritical, maybe?
That's what I always thought. I would always argue that with my dad and be like, well, they kind of are in the Hall of Fame because it does acknowledge that they're one of the greatest players of all time, and all of their memorabilia and artifacts are everywhere in this building. They're just not in this one little hall that enshrines you forever. But the rest of the building has tons of Pete Rose and Ty Cobb and and Barry Bonds and Curt Schilling's socks are there. Like everything imaginable is there, except for the little plaque. I find that a little weird. But Jen Powell's hat will be next to those guys' memorabilia and stuff in the umpire section. I'm sure that's where it'll be because they have old umpire gear and stuff too, which is pretty cool, like what they used to wear in the early 1900s. So her hat being the next addition to the umpire charter over there will be a pretty cool and deserving thing to see there. So we did talk about the farm system rankings. Speaking of the team the Yankees are playing now, Stacey, they traded away 11 of their players, the Twins. So they got a lot of back in farm system players. They moved up to the 5th ranked farm system in all of baseball. They were 15 prior. So they went up 10 spots. So
well, that's what happens when you want to do everything.
It is kind of interesting, right? Because the fan base was reportedly kind of upset after they did this because they felt like they were giving up on the season.
Yes.
But when you look at it at this end,
they're setting it up for the future.
And 2 weeks later, because they don't do these farm system rankings every week because it doesn't make sense. Usually it's every 2 to 4 weeks because why would you do it once a week? It doesn't.
Right. Yeah.
When you look at it now and you look at the rankings and they're now the 5th best farm system in baseball, which gives you either ammo to trade for major leaguers or just waiting for these guys to develop a little bit. It's not as crazy as it once sounded 2 weeks ago. So it's just kind of, grade these trade deadlines with a little grain of salt sometimes. Making them the 5th ranked team, Stacey. They have 7 players in the top 100.
Wow.
Of MLB's pipeline. So it's not bad. Again, Yankees, we said earlier, now down to the 21st ranked farm system. They traded a lot of guys and they did it to get better. So, another indictment on what it would mean if they missed the postseason. In the farm system rankings that much. So consider that, guys. Also, Cal Raleigh last night, Sunday night, I'm sorry, hit his 45th home run of the season for the Mariners. What once was a competition between him and Judge is not anymore. He's going to easily surpass Judge for the home run title this year. I wanted to ask you before we close out your opinion on something. Do you think there's a chance Judge is still hurt and he came back a little early because he's trying to save the season?
Yes.
Yeah. We'll discuss that on tomorrow's show and it's a good teaser for you guys and a good reason to tune in tomorrow because there's some hard evidence and he's getting base hits and he's seeing the ball well, but there's no power on his bat.
No.
At all. He doesn't have an extra base hit since returning. So keep that in mind and we'll see you guys tomorrow where we'll break it down a little further.
Yep. So thank you guys for making Locked On Yankees your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. You get local analysis on a national scale. You can find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So that'll do it for this episode of Locked On Yankees. I'm Stacey Gotsulias.
And I'm Brian McKeon. We'll catch you guys tomorrow.